Well, everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey, everybody, Cantonese Cat here. Yesterday, I was talking to you about a stock that I was bullish about that I have a position in called Robinhood. And I laid down the ground cases in terms of why I'm bullish on it. One of which is because I'm extremely bullish on what altcoins are going to do. I think the altcoins are going to shock a lot of people. This is the others chart, which is the cryptocurrency total market cap, excluding the top 10. So no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, none of that large market cap stablecoin stuff. This is really a good look at the overall cryptocurrency market without looking at the big stuff. Like this is like it gives you a true pulse of the cryptocurrency market, if you will. And if you look at this chart, it really looks extremely bullish. It's a big giant cup in the handle, and we just had a good back test of this bear market trend line. You have a rising 20-month moving average that is serve as support. Everybody got really super scared back in August whenever it just kind of dipped, make a wick down underneath. But so far, it's been serving as really decent support moving forward. So I do think that because of these technicals and because of rising global liquidity and because of what we're seeing in a lot of different things here, including some of the more speculative stocks are getting, more bids, if you will. I do think that this whole altcoin season, which I think is starting soon, if not have already started, I think is going to shock a lot of people. I think there's a possibility where once we break about the 0.618 Fibonacci level here, and once we're able to break the 0.786 again, convincingly, then you could talk about potentially like over $1 trillion market cap for the whole cryptocurrency market cap, even excluding the top 10 coins. You're talking about 1 trillion, which is going to be a lot of insane gains for a lot of these smaller caps cryptocurrencies. Now, how are you going to play that? You can try to find individual cryptocurrencies if you want to, or you can play a stock that is going to give you a lot of exposure to it. And none of this is financial advice, of course, but the stock is going to give you a lot of exposures to this would be Coinbase. Coinbase is an extremely fascinating stock. First of all, it ran all the way from like the 30s all the way to like the 280s within a span of about a year and a half. And it just simply went way too far, way too fast, went parabolic, and it just needed to cool down, which is exactly what it did for almost the entire half a year, if not a little bit longer, right? It went from 280, came back down to like 140, tested the arc over here, bounced almost perfectly. Now, this is again a square I drew based on 360 and 5, by the way. Gives you some really beautiful market symmetry. It's just been breaking one arc after another and testing an angle here, broke down underneath the angle. Now, we might be getting close to kind of go back here and test the arc here. After it does a successful back test of some of the stuff down underneath, which might include the Ichimoku cloud, which currently is kind of sitting more or less on top of that. It's also at the baseline over here. Now, if that ends up not serving as support, you also have the Boron support band down here, which has flipped from a little bit negative sloping here as resistance now to flat, right? Which is going to give you a little bit more possibility of it being a good, pretty decent support here. And currently, price is kind of hovering around the area. I do think that we're probably going to end up bouncing from the Boron support band, maybe even to the lower end of Boron support band, which is going to be around 200, which is also a good psychological level where it could potentially bounce from. But I do think that we're close. I actually feel very, very, good about Coinbase in general. Now, the other thing too to get me really excited about it is just that I think that it really had bounced from a trend line over here. In addition to this arc over there, there's also a trend line that I'm kind of looking at here for the bear market, where you finally was able to break back above of it, and you just simply did a back test of that. That is all. Usually these things, once you bounce, become extremely bullish, right? If you're able to bounce and if you're able to break back above some of the other levels here. Now, on top of that, you're talking about the Fibonacci levels. I'm going to just go ahead and do a log-based Fibonacci level here. All of this bounce over here is also confluent with this just simply wanted to back test the 0.618 Fibonacci level, which is entirely healthy during a bull market. It simply got rejected here at 0.786. If it breaks above the 0.786, then it moons, right? But it's just simply went way too far, way too fast. It just needed to cool down. So it cooled down for about 6-7 months, came back down, back tested what it needed, back tested the arc at the trend line at the 0.618. Looks like it's ready to run. Now, it might still need to, confirm to find border support band support here and use that as support to really kind of push price up a lot higher. I see the price action right now currently very similar to over here, trying to flip that from resistance to support, right? To resistance to support, right? But I do think it's not going to take as long as it's over here because overall this is a pretty well established bull trend now. Now, when it happens, I think it's going to end up challenging the 0.786. I think this time we should be able to break inside the arc, maybe even back test bottom of arc, and then we'll probably end up challenging the all-time high here sometime in 2025. I think there's a possibility if things go extremely well. I don't think that's going to necessarily hit the 1.618 here on the Fibonacci level on a log scale, but I do think that if you change that to linear scale, I do think that it's possible to hit some of the higher targets here. 1.618 should hit here on the arc in 2025. I think there's also a possibility that it could hit 2.618 and even 3.618. Now there's a confluent zone over here around 1470 with this arc over here. If it ends up hitting the arc over here around August 2025, I think that's entirely possible. Is it going to happen? For sure, nobody knows. I am very, very bullish based on the cryptocurrency market cap going higher. I'm very bullish on the technical of Coinbase by itself, and I just cannot really hold myself back from being bullish on this anymore. So I end up getting into Coinbase earlier in the week. I think currently price is maybe like a couple percent down from where I entered, and that's okay. I see that there are certainly potential downsides, but I see a lot more upside. So it's all about risk and and benefit or reward ratio. And I just simply see it at this point, even though I didn't really buy here in the 160s or 140s or 180s, I still think that the risk reward ratio is pretty decent. So I'm entering it. And you can also see that the 20-month moving average is also curling up. The upper Bollinger Band is starting to kind of curl up here a little bit. The lower Bollinger Band is still kind of, contracting down. But I do think that whenever price end up hitting the upper Bollinger Band here, which is going to be around 300, I do think that it's going to gravitate back up to the upper Bollinger Band over the next couple months, which is going to be around high 200s to low 300s. And when that happens, you might end up having a flattening of the low Bollinger Band. And when you have a little bit more of a push up with the Bollinger Band on the upper side keeps going up, you might end up having a little bit of re-expansion of the Bollinger Band here, and Coinbase could potentially just keep on going up a lot higher. I do see that it is starting to try and reclaim the bar support band. So the Bollinger Band, because price just kind of gone sideways for a really long time, Bollinger Band is probably going to end up being a little bit squeezing here. But all it takes is just a little bit of price action. I do think that's probably gonna the next move once it finds support down here. They could take maybe even a few weeks. Once it finds support down here, then I think most likely it will, because it's a higher high here compared to here, and it just needs to find a higher low somewhere here. And I do think price would probably end up grouting up to the high 26, the high 200s, maybe 250, 260s, maybe even higher, which is going to be confluent with the Bollinger Band being expanded here on the monthly to potentially hit high 200s or even 300, somewhere around there. That's what I'm seeing with Coinbase. I am extremely bullish on it. I think that there is a potential that it could 5 to 7x from here over the next 12 to 18 months. Is there a guarantee? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I hope this video is entertaining for you. And if this entertainment ends up making you pay more attention to it and doing your own research on it, great. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. What I'm doing could be completely wrong, and that can be completely off base. So be careful about who you listen to. And if you decide to listen to certain people, well, you should also make sure that you do your own assessment as well. Anyway, take care. Have a good one. Bye.